Hey everybody. Well, I think this is pretty much, um, the the end of the project, the final pictures. If I just wanted to go over a few things. One is the stance of the airplane, the relationship and the angle of the floats to the fuselage and the airplane itself. You notice how the aircraft is raked backward slightly. That is accurate to the reference photos that I found and some information about float attachment to real world light sport aircraft. So I'm hoping I got the angles right. It appears to be pretty good. Also, the length, the scale length of the float struts appears to be good. You see, I've added a few details. There's the oar and its brackets, associated brackets. There's the fuel cap and the vent. It's a vented fuel cap on that. What else? The non-skid deck, float decking, and we're putting nav lights on it now. There's the port light. The starboard green light is, I'm just painting it. And that'll be applied here in a few minutes. We've added the exhaust stack there. Anyway, that's the Aeronca Champion from Gillo, and it's a good kit. It's an accurate representation with just a few small modifications that I made. Added the stringers externally to the after it was infilled, two stringers to replicate the two chines on the side of the fuselage, two facets that it did not have. Also used filler to replicate the way the tail is fabric covered and faired to the fuselage and to the horizontal stabilizer. So that was done with filler. The windscreen, how we solved the problem for the windscreen. I did not want to split there down the center. I think I might have mentioned that the acetate sheet that Gillo gives you is too small, but what I meant by that was it was too small to take the pattern that they provided and create one continuous piece of material that would cover all the windows. It was only long enough to provide for to make it to the two forward, the two mid stanchions, these two posts. That was as far as I could get one piece to go. And what was left over from that sheet of acetate was not enough to get the two side rear windows. The piece that covers this area and this area, this one piece here and its companion piece, the pair of them. There was no way to get all of that material out of the one piece of acetate that Gillo provided. So what I used was packaging material. I bought a pack of, 500,000 Q-tips, and that packaging consisted of an acetate blister pack with a flat area on top that was big enough, more than big enough, to provide me with the material I needed for the two rear side windows. So that's what I cut those from. And they see we just removed the seam from the center and created two seams, but right over those stanchions, those two posts. So that hides the seam as well as anything. And then I covered it just with a skinny strip of painted tape, and that, again, that perfectly hides the seams, the two seams. So it ends up being a really good solution, at least for the high wing Gillo civilian aircraft kits. I'm still trying to work out an answer on the Cherokee and the Musketeer, and as soon as I do figure out a way to make the proper windscreens for those without seaming them down the middle, I'll share that with you guys. I'll build one or something. we'll do a tutorial on it. I'm working on it though. Anyway, this is pretty much it. I'm still most likely going to rig the water rudder to the air rudder. There's a few extra bracing wires in some examples. There's a cross bracing of the cabling here and back here, but I'm not sure I'm going to replicate that because it's not on every example. Some of them are open like this and just have the X bracing. They all have that X bracing, the bracing in between the two crossbars, but only about half the examples I saw had it also between the front forward struts and the rear struts. They had X bracing in this opening here and again back there. So I'm not sure I'm going to do that. Now if I do, I'll post pictures. I'll do a video of it or whatever. All right, but this is pretty much the Aeronca. It's a great representation of this aircraft when it's completed, and whether you build for flight or for display like I do, you know, I highly recommend it. Anything from Gillo really has been good. Dumas, very good. Her engineering, HERR engineering kits, very good. Dave Dials, great kits. Good luck with those. I've had and a few that are now defunct companies also making pretty, still have pretty good kits available on eBay and so on. But the top, I guess they're the top 3 or 4 now. Gillo, Dumas, Hare, and Dave Dials. I'm probably leaving out a couple more. But all these, kit manufacturers, they're putting out kits, and somebody's building them. And if you are, maybe this is an alternative. Build for flight, but then maybe build a few for display too. That way, if your flyer gets creamed or caught in a tree and lost, you'll have another example of it there on your on a desk or on a bookcase or hanging from your ceiling somewhere there.